Hi, everybody. Dr. Zach here. And I wanted to start today by asking a couple of questions. The first one is, when is this insanity going to end? And what prompted that is just looking at a couple of different news stories that came across my desk this morning. I see one locally here in Loveland. Resurrection Christian High School has shut down because one child in that entire school tested positive for COVID-19. So we've got a kid that tested positive, and we know that kids aren't really at risk of having complications from COVID-19. We also know that kids really aren't at risk of spreading COVID-19. So we close the whole school down instead of maybe telling that kid, hey, quarantine yourself for a few days or 2 weeks or whatever the guideline is on that, and then let's keep everybody else going. But we lost our minds. I see another story about a little 9-year-old boy in Arlington, Massachusetts. He had the unfortunate instance of sneezing in class. And because he sneezed in class, he was sent home. I mean, how crazy is this? We can't sneeze without everybody panicking and thinking that we're going to wipe out our entire community because we become so afraid of testing positive for a sickness that you don't even know you have unless you get tested for it. We see here in Boulder, at the University of Colorado, I was looking this morning that we've got, 912 cases of people that have tested positive so far in a university that when I was there it was 25,000. I think it's up to about 40,000 students now. I don't know how many are currently there, but we got 912 cases. And interestingly enough, on the website it has nothing, there's no data available anywhere to find out if any of those people were hospitalized or if any of those people died. My guess is we would see more in the news if we had any casualties as a result of that. So here's even a bigger report. This actually comes from taking data from 37 different universities across the United States. And a combination of these 37 universities, there was 48,300 people who tested positive. So 48,000 positive tests in 37 universities. This sounds like probably comparable number to what the University of Colorado is experiencing. Here's what they do is they actually took it a little bit further, and hospitalizations from that 48,000 plus people was two hospitalizations out of 48,000 people that tested positive, and we're living our life in panic. How many people died? Zero deaths, 2 hospitalizations, 48,000 positive tests, 37 universities that have completely altered the way that they're living life and running their education system because of this. We're still stuck in a place of panic. In fact, I saw in the paper today that Jared Polis, who is our esteemed governor here in Colorado, is getting us prepared for the third wave of this pandemic. And as I was talking to people in the office this morning, we were kind of going, did we have the second wave? What's going on with this? Man, we got to wake up. We got to recognize that we're being played. That you know what? There were some casualties up front. That we did see a spike of people that died, and then we've seen that go away. We've seen that the people that are going to die from COVID-19, for the greatest part, are already dead, and that's a tragedy. But that's the way every season goes when we have an infectious disease that comes through. It takes out the people that are vulnerable. And God bless them, but our goal should be on how do we take and reduce the vulnerability of people instead of just shutting everything down and teaching our kids to live in fear. I did a workshop last night here at the office, and it's on Facebook, so if you haven't seen it yet, I would encourage you to watch it. And my workshop changed completely from what I had planned to what I actually gave. And what drove me was the question of what kind of legacy are we leaving for our kids? What's the understanding about who they are, what they're capable of? Are they going to be able to maneuver through life with confidence, with an understanding that they're not only resilient, but they get stronger through challenging times? That our immune system gets stronger through exposure. Our muscular system gets stronger through exercise. Our relationships get stronger through interaction and having conversations. Some of those even sometimes a little bit abrasive at times. That's how growth happens. Are we teaching our kids that they can maneuver through life and go through challenges and come out strong on the other end? Or are we teaching them to avoid anything that could potentially create any kind of harm or set them up for any kind of a challenge? You know, we need to be asking these questions because right now we are going right down this road toward an insane mindset, and we're teaching our kids this. So I want to encourage you to think about what kind of legacy you want to leave for our kids and our kids' kids and the next generations after us. An empowering mindset that says we're more powerful than we can even imagine, that we've beat COVID-19. We're past it. We're past the curve. We tried to flatten it. It didn't work, but we're past it. Good news. Celebrate. High five each other. Hug each other. Get back together with each other. Take off your masks. Start communicating with each other face to face. Let people see your expressions and your smiles. And let's get back to living our lives instead of crawling into a cave and hiding out and avoiding, the next potential casualty. So the question is, when is the insanity going to stop? My feeling is that it stops when we decide it stops. And we have to put our foot down and say enough is enough. If you're ready to join me in that, I'd love to hear your comments, any kind of responses you have. If you think this is information that needs to get on other people's ears, be sure and share this. Let people know. We want to kind of start stirring people up to be looking at what's going on in the news, see if the numbers do add up, see if the increased number of cases do substantiate that we're still in an emergency situation, or if we're just seeing more people whose immune system are riding through the storm and we're getting past everything. So anyway, until next time, this is Dr. Zach. Hope you're having a great day. God bless you.